Hey everybody, KC here. So I think sometimes, in fact too often, retailers treat customers as if they're homogeneous, right? Listen, everybody talks about the consumer, but the fact of the matter is there is no consumer. There are many different kinds of consumers, and we all know this, and yet sometimes I think we don't differentiate enough among the different kinds of consumers that come into the store. Don't differentiate between what they want, what they need, for all the different kinds of consumers. You know, it's interesting. Just this week on Morning Newsbeat, we had a story about how elderly folks, their whole shopping habits have been changed and their eating habits have been changed by inflation and sort of a recessionary mindset. But we also had a story about how retailers are hiring young people, hoping they're going to help them conquer TikTok. But the thing is, the same customers, right? The customers who are going on TikTok and the customers who are elderly and trying to figure out how to stretch their dollars, they could be going to the same store. And if stores are not talking to these people in a unique way, not helping them figure out, how they can serve their needs, not listening to them, not speaking to them in different ways with different kinds of communications, well, they're really missing a bet. And I think that's an important thing to sort of work on, to say, how are we going to talk to people differently? Send them different kinds of messages. People like to be treated as individuals, not just part of a sort of an amorphous mass, right? Because it makes you feel connected to. And this can happen in little ways. It's funny, was just looking at the LL Bean catalog. And one of the things that I've noticed lately is that they've done a really, really good job of sort of using different kinds of models, different ages, obviously different genders, different ethnicity, but also different sizes. Listen, I've always talked about LL Bean's one of my favorite designers. And, I have like dozens of these shirts and t-shirts that I wear all the time. But I'm also sort of built like a fire hydrant. So if you send me a catalog that only has me, guys who are wearing tight-fitting shirts, I look at that and say, that's useless. But I look at this guy right there, right? And I think to myself, okay, if he can fit into that shirt, I can fit into that shirt. I think that's a really smart thing to do. It just makes me feel noticed. That's the kind of thing retailers need to do. Make sure the customer feels noticed, feels appreciated, and feels differentiated. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.